Perhaps later today you will meet by chance with someone who, because you have been reading this book, they will become a Christian. Don't you think that would be wonderful? No, more than that, pray that that might happen, because there's no such thing as a chance encounter. That's a pretty provocative and amazing thing for Sinclair Ferguson to write, but that's what he writes at the end of yesterday's little reflection on Luke chapter 23, and focusing particularly on the person of Simon of Cyrene. But it's almost too big a thing for my brain to really get itself around the idea there will be no chance meetings for you today. The person who drops letters through your door on this day is ordained by God. The person who you ring up for a chat to encourage today, well, they might be surprised to hear your voice, but God is not surprised that you're speaking to that person at that time. The neighbour who you happen to, I'm going to say bump into, but I don't mean that, happen to have a 2-metre conversation with as you go out on your daily exercise. Well, that won't be a chance encounter either. It's pretty amazing. Someone has said that God has planned where every single drop of rain will fall. Now, we don't know why he chooses where he chooses for those drops of rain to fall or not to fall, but it remains the Bible's teaching nonetheless. Yesterday's reflections was on the implications for Simon of Cyrene of a chance encounter which completely transformed his life. He was heading into Jerusalem. He'd come from Cyrene, which is in modern-day Libya, and it seems likely he was on some kind of pilgrimage to be in Jerusalem for the holiest of days in the Jewish calendar, the Passover. He was walking into Jerusalem when a chance encounter with an execution squad, a squad of Roman soldiers and 3 condemned men, completely transformed his life. He was very physically turned around as the soldiers grabbed him, told him that he would have to carry the crosspiece of Jesus' cross. Jesus had suffered 2 horrendous beatings, and it appears he's just physically not up to carrying this huge bit of wood that he's going to be put to death on. And so Simon is, if you like, an enacted parable of what it means to be a Christian. Someone who publicly, embarrassingly, identifies with Jesus and has their plans, their priorities and their passions completely turned around by him. He quite simply takes up his cross and follows Jesus. Ferguson builds a convincing case that what was an embarrassing and inconvenient episode for Simon led to salvation for him and his wife and his children. All due to a chance encounter on the road to Jerusalem. Let me encourage you, please be praying how you can best use the chance encounters you'll have today. Now, I appreciate the opportunity for these chance encounters is hugely limited compared to what would normally happen. And yet God has still planned for you to have these chance encounters with people. So go through the day having prayed for the people who you know you're going to encounter, whether that's online, on the telephone, your neighbours, your family. And then have your spiritual antennae up and be thinking, is this moment, this God-ordained, this God-planned moment, an opportunity for them to have a life-changing encounter with the Lord Jesus Christ? Hope to see you again tomorrow.